And it looks like, from what I can tell, we're live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Wednesday Live. Welcome to Home Built Workshop. As I'm still working on figuring this whole setup out here, but I've made some changes since last week, some minor ones, but still working to improve every time. And we're here, we're live. And good thing we did a little bit of testing because I had the time and everything scheduled wrong. Newbie mistakes, I'm telling you. Anyway, what's going on? How's everybody doing? I need some feedback again, as always, as we again work to continue, get better every day, right? Isn't that what they say? Something like that. Let me know how the stream looks, how the stream sounds. What do I need to change? One thing that I did not change yet was the width of the camera. We talked a little bit last week about the slight fisheye look. I didn't change that yet. I played around with it and it got kind of narrow. May not be a big deal. I just have to push the camera back just a little bit, but for now I didn't change it. If it gets annoying though, let me know and we'll see if we can adjust. So Robert, good morning. Robert was here bright and early as I was coming on just to get everything set up, doing a little bit of testing, and he's the one to let me know I had the time set wrong. So thank you, Robert, and good morning. But I think we've got all of that set now. We're ready to move forward. Let's see, Harry Dude's here. Harry Dude says, what's up? Hello, everyone. Harry Dude, what's going on? How's everything going? How's Australia? How's everybody doing down there? Is it nice and hot, summertime for you? And yeah, I hope it's going good. And Robert says howdy. Howdy, Robert. Time Surfing's here. Says moved your sign. Flipped everything around. What sign? What did I move? What sign? What sign did I move? Just trying to mess with you. Not really, but it's something different. Oh. How's that? And Donna's here. Donna, coffee up. We got a hot, fresh coffee today. It is really hitting the spot this morning. It was like 7 degrees this morning when I got up. A little chilly. I think we've warmed up to a whopping 10 degrees now. About 43 snow flurries were on the ground from last night. So this coffee is hitting the spot. Cheers, everyone. And Tony's here. Tony says, morning, sunshine. Good morning, Tony. Oh, did our video freeze? Our video, is it freezing up? Did it just freeze? It looks like it's freezing on my end. It didn't freeze last time. You guys let me know. Is it freezing? I may have to change some stuff here. Change a couple of settings, maybe. Let me know. It says I've dropped a few frames. Let me change some. I'm making a slight adjustment here. I can't see because there's a camera in the way. Hang on, bear with me. I can't see. I got to scoot you out of the way a little bit. Let's see. Output. We'll change this down to there. We'll try that. Hopefully maybe that helps. My apologies. It looks like our stream is back. Oh, it's pausing again. Why is the stream stopping? Are we still live? Huh. Why did my stream stop? Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. It says stream. It says everything is healthy. The stream health is good, is what it says. So are we still? Are we still good? Let's see. Terry says it's working. Robert says we're live. Time Servant says just came back. Okay. Mine's swirling around. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Harry Dude says no dropouts. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'll just pause my live preview. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe I'll just pause that. And I'm gonna rely on you guys. Because I just paused my live playback. Maybe that's causing me some issues. So I'm gonna says we're still streaming, says stream's healthy. Says according to this, everything's good. I'm not quite sure. Why is this confusing me? Okay, Robert says still good. Okay, I'm going to assume that we're in good shape, and I've just paused my live playback. So I can't see exactly what you guys are seeing at the moment. So, anyway, hopefully that'll stop any of the cutouts from happening. And again, thank you guys for bearing with me as I'm kind of working through some of these things and learning how things work. Yeah, because I can't do it on my own. I need your feedback, so I do appreciate it. Let's see. Terry's here. Terry says hello. Corey says the Craftsman logo is crooked. Oh, yeah. Time Surfing says the home built sign used to be on the other side. Oh, yes. I did notice that. So that's something else I can't quite understand. Before, when I was streaming on the phone, right? Everything looked normal to me. Nothing was backwards. Everything looked, it just looked right. Now, then everything got switched. All the words were mirrored, and it was super annoying. So then we moved to this setup, which I have a lot more control over mirroring and flipping things around and all that sort of stuff. But now when I do, everything is on the opposite side. So I don't understand. Like, I just can't win. But yet, at the very beginning, everything was fine when it was on the phone. So, but anyway, oh well. I don't know. So let's see here. So Time Surfing, yeah, I don't know. At least it's not backwards, right? The words aren't backwards. And we're good. We're good. We're just going to have to get used to everything being switched. I don't know. Robert says currently 8 degrees, but feels like minus 14. Looks fine here. Right on. Excellent. Terry says it's working. Oh, we just read that already. Harry Dude, no dropouts. Robert says still good. Reek is here. Reek says, sup, my man? Reek, what's going on? How are you doing? Right on. So are we still live? I gotta keep asking. You guys hit something in the chat so I can tell, because I can't see the live video. Robert says yes. Nice. Thank you, Robert. Time Servant says, used to be able to see the sign off to your left, now it's behind you. Yeah, I don't. Maybe I'm scooted over some. Actually, probably. How's that for grammar? So I got this, and we'll scoot this just a little this way. How's that? Is that better? I also did a little work on my. So I've got a homemade arm that I have this camera mounted on, and I added an extension to it so that I can like move it around. It articulates. I can move things around. Have you guys in different spots. That's kind of weird because I'm looking at the side of the camera almost, but yeah, kind of neat. Just trying to come up with some different things to make this a little more interesting for you. Time Servant says yes live. Time Servant says that's the money shot. Oh, right here? This one? There we go. But anyway, enough of that. We've confirmed that things are working. I don't know why my live preview decided that it wasn't going to work, but whatever. I'd rather have it paused and not using resources so that the stream flows through better for all of you. So I'm not going to worry about that. I guess I could go to, since I'm not using that, I could go to the OBS live screen, and then just bring the comments up. There we go. It's a little better. At least I can see sort of what you guys are seeing. So anyway, what's everybody up to? Took us a little while to get there. What's everybody working on? What projects do you have on the bench? As I'm sure you can see from the view, since we have a wider view right now, what's on the bench. I'm sure you can tell. I'll show you that here in just a minute. I want everybody to go in and clickety, 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 and let me know, what are you working on? Maybe you're not working on anything. Maybe you're working on just a cup of coffee, and that's totally fine, because I'm working on this one too. Robert says, did my thumbs up click? Right on. Thank you. Thank you. Time Surfing has got the click as well. Yeah, the thumbs up. Rock on. Guitars. Nice. So yeah, while you're keying in what you're working on, you can see we're getting, well, can you see that? Yeah, you can. You can. And my coffee. We're getting closer to putting this old Epiphone Accubase back together. So if you saw the last episode, the last video, where I did the finish on this. Oh, the smell's almost gone. Which tells me that we're getting mighty close to this being fully cured. We're ready to buff it out. Now the shine and everything is looking really good. And quite honestly, I could play that just like it is. But there's just a couple little bits of dirt in here. Dirt? Little nibs, dust nibs, because, well, I don't have a proper paint booth. And trying to do anything in a dusty shop, well, these things are going to happen. So, got to do just a tiny bit of level sanding and buffing just to smooth this thing out. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. The color's a little more orange. So if you saw the video, you know this is basically a base coat, clear coat system here. It's a tint base, and then you clear coat over top. It's a tiny bit more orange than what I would have liked. It's supposed to be based on like a, I don't know, 50s, 60s Fender amber, that amber color of the vintage necks. A little more orange than I would have wanted, but I don't hate it. So yeah, just did a base clear basically on this. It's going to dry. The finish laid down really nice. It's actually quite smooth, but just got to polish some of those dust nibs out. I may not even level sand. I may just buff it out, and I think that'll remove some of these little bumps. But that's just been sitting drying. Meanwhile, while that has been going on, and I'll get back to the comments here in a moment, I took some time over the last couple of days, and I hit this with the buffer. I didn't do any sanding. I wasn't trying to really, correct everything and make it perfect. There's still a ton of scratches in here. Some of the lighter ones I was able to get out, but I didn't want to go to sanding on this and then buff it because I don't really know how much finish is on here. So I just went with, I just hit it with my least aggressive buffing wheel and buffing compound just to basically clean it up and, bring back some of the shine. And honestly, I think it did a pretty good job. Cleaned up the hardware, reinstalled, got strap buttons on there that match. I went through the wiring, made sure everything works. The pickups work, volume, tone, everything works. Replaced the pick guard screws, and I think everything's working or looking pretty decent for what it is, right? Again, it's not a brand new. It's not meant to be a mint restoration kind of thing. I just want to get this thing back together. So everything on here works, and the neck is almost ready. And after looking at this, that's not that far off of a color. So I really think that this is going to be, it's going to be awesome. We'll get this thing together. It's just going to be, you can't really see that. Yeah, you can. It's just going to be a cool little base. And a fun project too. But yeah, that's where we're at on this. The second neck that I showed you last week, the laminated one, that one is in the house right now. Well, this one was too, but I brought it out so I could show all of you. The other one's in the house. I've got the frets leveled, crowned, and just need to be polished. I went to polish them yesterday afternoon, and my little I polished with a rotary tool, like a Dremel. My little polishing wheel arbor was gone. I've got a whole bag of those little, like 1-inch buffing wheels. The little arbor that holds them, I don't know where it went. So I had to run to town, grab a new buffing arbor, and so I got to get that, finish buffing those frets up. And then really, that thing's going to be pretty much done. A final oil on the fretboard and all that. That neck will be done, ready to go out to the customer. It's very close. I do need to finish fitting a nut for it, just a rough blank, and probably throw some neck screws and stuff with it. But yeah, that thing's going to be, it's going to be done here probably in the next, next few days, which is going to be cool. Get that thing sent out. And then by the time I get that neck done, I'll be ready to get to this. We'll get that done. It's just cool. It's just a kind of a neat spot to be where we're wrapping up a few projects and making some progress. So it's cool. I'm happy. And I'm actually pretty excited to get this old thing back together. All right, going back to the comments. Let's see. Robert says, watch the video about the new neck for the base a couple days ago. Harry Dude says, currently swearing at a DVI to optical cable. Stupid thing. Oh no. Time Serpent says, painting a Strat and wiring another. Nice. Right on. Right on. What color are you painting it? And is it your Strat, or is it for somebody, or what? We need more details than that. Robert says, I was going to figure out a body shape for the Crimson Guitars kit, but the temperature dropped out the bottom and is not warmed up enough to do anything outside. Yeah, it's that time of year, Robert. I don't know. Although here, it is supposed to be, we are supposed to be in the 60s, like Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday and Monday kind of thing. It's crazy weather. Harry Dude says, base coat or base coat? Da-dum. I see what you did there. Time Servant says, made myself a wall-mounted guitar rack, adjustable, holds 3 guitars, have about $10 into it. Used Harbor Freight utility hooks, some scrap wood, basically a French cleat. I did something similar to that a long time ago. I didn't use it to hold guitars though, but I did think about that. I made it to be able to hang. I have lots of gig bags. Some of my guitars are in hard cases, but a lot of them are also in soft gig bags. And I had gig bags all over the place. Well, I still do, but I made something similar. Mount the board with the angle on the top, and I made adjustable little blocks that had hangers on it, so that I could space them around and account for the different gig bags and just hang things up. It worked out pretty good. Drizzy Guitars, what's up? How are you doing? Robert says, Todd from Sweet Tea Guitars showed a new fret polishing process in his latest video a few days ago. I believe I saw I didn't watch the video, but I think I saw that. I feel like I saw the thumbnail for that one. Time Surfing says, just got the primer coat. Haven't settled on anything yet. Yes, my Strat, wiring my son's Strat. Right on, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. So I want to ask you guys, has anybody ever used the brand Nitorlac? It's a guitar instrument finish. I don't know who all sells the Nitorlac, but I know it's definitely available on the All Parts, through All Parts, which I can get all that, I can get all that All Parts stuff, but I've just not tried it. And I had a buddy ask me about that not too long ago, about the Nitorlac, and I haven't used it. So I just wondering if anybody's used Nitorlac or know somebody that has, let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback. Robert says, no power tools required. for the fret polish Todd showed. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look. Yeah, I like to finish up with the rotary tool, with the Dremel. For some reason, that's just a process that I kind of ended up with, and I really like it. Oh, let's see. Sam's here. Sam, what's going on, Sam? Sam says, sorry I'm late with the super chat. No, not really. He says, sorry I'm late. YouTube didn't remind me. Then YouTube wouldn't load the live stream. Had to type it in. Sorry I missed last week. I was installing a light. Sam, no worries. It's all good. It's all good. And thank you. Thank you for the super chat. So last week, Sam, just to get you up to speed, we were, not we. I was testing out a whole bunch of new stuff. I got a new process, as I'm sure you can tell, for the live stream. Trying to do better. I'm now streaming with we're going to be using different cameras, using the laptop, the whole thing. It's a whole setup. And last week was kind of a learning curve for me, and it still is today, but it's a little better, I think. And the beauty is I can hit the button and it actually works the first time. Time Servant says, rattle can, Rust-Oleum. Right on. Nothing wrong with that. I've got lots of Rust-Oleum up there that I've used for stuff. Rust-Oleum, Krylon. That's more Rust-Oleum. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff up there. Yeah. Yeah, this guitar neck here, that whole thing, that's all rattle can. Rattle can tint coat, base coat, yeah. And then rattle can nitrocellulose lacquer. Did you guys know that? Did you guys, if you haven't seen the video, go back and watch it, but I'm going to give you a little teaser. Deft lacquer, have you seen Deft spray can lacquer? Maybe at the hardware store or whatever. If you didn't already know that, that's nitrocellulose lacquer. I'd heard that recently. Some people already knew that. Well, lots of people already knew that, but it's something I recently heard. So I went online and I searched around for like the SDS sheets and all that, and I found two different ones for the same product. One of them said lacquer, one of them said nitrocellulose lacquer. It was for the exact same part number product, so it was kind of confusing. So I messaged the people. Deft is a PPG product, so I messaged PPG. I said, hey, what's the deal? Found two different ones. Can you confirm? And they said, yes, we can 100% confirm that this lacquer is nitrocellulose. Who knew? I mean, lots of people, but I didn't. So yeah, so Deft spray can lacquer, which has now been rebranded as Prolux. It's still a PPG company. It's still the same Deft formula, all of that stuff. And it is 100% confirmed by me, not just, I mean, a bunch of other people, like I said, have already mentioned that, but I 100% confirmed that with PPG that the Deft spray lacquer, now known as Prolux, is nitrocellulose. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I have, in fact, finished a guitar, maybe two? No, a couple. I've done a couple of guitars in one full guitar and a couple necks, now that I think about it, in nitrocellulose. I just thought it was normal lacquer, but it is nitro. So I just thought that was cool, and not something that I knew. So yeah, I don't know. Just thought that was cool. So we got nitro on here, nitro on a couple other things, but it's just a cool lacquer. I've always liked it. I've always been a fan of that spray lacquer. It sprayed really well. The only thing I noticed with this last can that I bought of this Prolux for this project, I bought 3, knowing I wasn't going to need 3. I think I used one entire can and like a coat from a second one. They changed the nozzle, which I wasn't super happy about. They used to spray really nice. They changed the nozzle, and it doesn't seem to spray quite as nice unless you have the can at the right angle. But I mean, it totally works great, and I definitely highly recommend it. Of course, something like this, I 100% tested it on some scrap. I don't have that scrap piece here, just to make sure there wasn't any funny business between the the base coat, and the tint coat and the clear, just to make sure. But yeah, nitrocellulose. Get the Deft, now known as Prolux, or should we say the Prolux, formerly known as Deft? Oh boy. Anyway, Time Surfing says, I didn't know that till you mentioned it. Been using it since the 80s. Never knew. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I did a little. I don't even remember how I came across it. Doing some sort of research online, and somebody said Deft, and I'm like, what? That's just like, that. At the time, I felt like it was kind of just a normal, sort of inexpensive lacquer you could pick up at the hardware store. And that's kind of just all I knew it as, but I really liked the finish. And then it wasn't until I dug a little bit deeper and found out that it was actually a nitro. And then I talked to a buddy of mine here, and he's like, oh yeah, I've been using that for a long time. And he's like, I've known that for years. I didn't. Now we do. Sam says, don't order anything from China. I'm sure you know why. I just can't say what. Yes, this is not the place. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. Let's stay on track. GMAC72 says, I've had bad results with Minwax spray lacquer. I don't know if I've used Minwax spray lacquer. Probably because I always just went for the Deft. The Deft just works. Just works good. Dries super fast. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever used the Minwax, to be honest. I've used the Minwax Poly, but I don't know if I've ever used the Minwax lacquer. But that's good to know. Time Surfing says, Fret Knot channel introduced an American luthier building budget guitars. Oh, under $500 an hour from your house? Really? Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive, though. I'm not 100% sure. I'd be interested to know more about that. Like, that's pretty impressive. That's a tough challenge right there, because I mean, I have that in hardware on most of my builds, really. So that's definitely challenging, I would imagine. GMAC says Watco from Home Depot is better than Minwax. I'll have to look up the stuff you're talking about. It says Deft. Yes, Deft that's the stuff. Depending on where, maybe your store, whatever store, it may not be called Deft anymore. It may be called Prolux. Proluxe, I believe it is. Actually, do I have a can right here? I do. Hang on. Hopefully my microphone cable's long enough I can grab it. Oh yeah. Yes. So this is the stuff right here. So if you look right there, same. It's probably not focused. I don't know if that does or not. Same Deft formula, new name, and then right there, PPG, the little, the PPG label. It's a little bit blurry, I'm sorry, but the thing that's interesting is nowhere on here does it say anything about nitrocellulose. Not for exterior use. Even on the SDS, if you find the SDS that does not say specifically nitrocellulose wood finish, you look at the ingredients, it's hard to determine if that's the stuff. But you're either going to look for something that has that says Deft, it's a little simpler labeling, or you're going to find this, which is the same stuff. But it does say on there, same Deft formula. So then you know it's the right stuff. So, and this is the gloss. Clear. They have, you want to get the stuff that says top coat, interior, that sort of thing. There was another one of these that they had on the shelf, but I can't remember now what it said, but I believe it was not the same lacquer. It was not the same stuff. Top coat, clear wood finish gloss. They have satin and semi-gloss as well. Let's see. Corey says, what I know about Minwax, it's lacquer. It does come in a quart-sized paint can. You can get this the same way too. You can get it in a quart. I've not used it that way though. But I might try it. I imagine it's the same stuff. GMAC, or formerly known as Deft. Time Surfing says, MWS guitars. I'll have to check that out for sure. And Sam says, don't forget to smash the like button. It's totally free. Yeah, smash that like button. Why do they say smash that like button? Hit the thumbs up. Smash it. Just don't smash your computer or whatever. GMAX says, last few I've done was with Mohawk. Now just use my compressor and sprayer. Yeah, Mohawk is good stuff. Mohawk is kind of one of the old go-tos as well. I feel like this Prolux or the Deft, now that I know it's a nitro, I think it might be a little more go-to for me for different projects. I don't know. I've just had great luck with it. GMAX says spray cans are a little product for a lot of money, really. Yes, you're absolutely correct. If you have the means to use a spray gun and compressor and all that stuff, absolutely, I definitely would recommend it because, yeah, I mean, to your point, you're paying for the can and the propellant and all that. And I don't remember what these are, $8 or something like that a can, 10? I don't remember. I don't think it was 10, but I mean, it's not cheap by any means, and you can just get you a quart if you have the stuff. Definitely is a better way to go. But for a small project though, sometimes you don't want to break out the spray gun, and at least I know I don't. I've got a spray gun, I've got a compressor and all that sort of stuff, but sometimes it's just as easy. Actually, it's a lot easier to just grab a spray can and have at it. And I do that a lot, really. A lot of it's just convenience, right? Because I got to dig the gun out and I got to get everything set up, which is not a whole lot. But mainly it's the cleanup. Especially this is not a water-based product. You gotta have proper stuff to clean it up, and disposal is a little trickier sometimes. Water-based stuff I don't have a problem with because you just rinse it off basically and you're done. But yeah, either way, it works fine. But yeah, if you've got the means, spray gun is definitely gonna save you some money there. GMAX has pile drive the like button. The poor button. He's getting beat up. Paul's here. Paul says, sorry, I'm late. Was babysitting a tech on a customer's machine, and the tech deleted 3 years of customer data on the machine. Oh no, with no backup. Got to hear customer go off on him. Glad not me. Whoo! Glad it's not me either, Paul. Man, that stinks though. I hope it wasn't anything that was like detrimental to the customer's deal. Yay. Time Servant says 5 to 20 a can. Yeah, it probably depends on the location and all that. Paul says, look, the video looks better. Not as red this week, but you're still not right. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, I did a little bit of more adjustments with the color. I realized that for somehow the saturation on the video was way high. I don't know why. That resulted in the weird redness. So I dropped that down quite a bit. So we're trying to make progress. So that's good. That's good to know, Paul. I appreciate that. Sam says, if you got a thicknesser machine, a two-sided planer. Not two-sided, no. I have a regular planer, with the straight knives on the top, the little lunchbox deal. Can't stand it. I mean, it works if I got to take a bunch off. But I also have a drum sander, and I use that 8,000% more than I use my little lunchbox, planer. But none of them are two-sided. That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, at least that's what I do. So if I got a thickness, most anything, it goes through the drum sander. If for some reason I'm working on something large and I got to take quite a bit off, then I will wrestle the planer out and remove the bulk of it. I got to do it outside. It's super loud and doesn't feed very good. It's just not a great machine. I'd rather spend 3 times the time and send it through the drum sander a bunch of times than dig that planer out. So my planer is a last resort, really. But again, it's not two-sided. Two-sided would be pretty cool, though. Hair Dude says, I quite often use a modeler's airbrush to spray poly on necks. Makes 50-50 with mineral spirits, works well. Hair Dude, that's a good idea. And it's something that I've thought about recently. I've thought about trying an airbrush. I've used one before, just messing around with. But I keep thinking it might be a great option for stuff like this. Just a small, small setup. You don't have to. I don't know. Maybe I should try it. I keep seeing. I was at Harbor Freight the other day. There's certain things, certain supplies and consumables that I'd like to grab at Harbor Freight, as well as I picked up a couple more clamps. But, and I keep hearing about that Black Widow airbrush that they have, and I hear that it's actually quite good. So I keep thinking I might try that out one of these days. Let's see. So Harry Dude, yeah, that's a good idea. I might grab a fairly inexpensive one to try it out on, and if it works well, then maybe get a better one, or maybe I don't need to. I don't know. Paul says, I have a spray rig, 29-gallon compressor, only used once. Don't like rattle cans, so do all my finishes by hand. Hand buff everything. Nothing wrong with that, Paul. Most of my necks I like to finish in oil. I like an oil finish neck. I just love the feel. Whether it's an oil, straight oil or an oil wax type of finish, basically anything that is not this. This is not my personal preference. I did it on this neck because I'm trying to match that one. But if I'm building a neck for one of my guitars or and when I say my, I don't mean my personal, but all of my Haley guitars have an oil finish neck. With the exception of the acoustics. But anyway, I just love that feel. Where was I going with this? I started rambling. So yeah, but anyway, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I do the oil. I do an oil finish because I'm not a fan of digging out the spray gun and all that. But I do like a lot of times a shiny body, depending on, again, what you're going for. So, I will spray gun that. But I also don't hand buff a finish like this neck here. That's going to get buffed with my little cordless buffer guy. This guy, actually. I can't. This guy. I use this. I do have a local builder of mine. My buddy Greg did hook me up with a buffing, one of the big buffers. So I do have one of those. He was cleaning out his shop, gave me that. Thank you, Greg. And I've got it sitting right over there. Not that you guys can see that. But the problem that I'm having is, where am I going to set it up where I have enough room to move a body around like I need to? So I'm still a little bit struggling with space as far as that goes. So I've still been using this, but when I have a bigger shop, or maybe this summer I'll be able to set it up outside. That actually might be kind of cool. Set it up on a base outside, and then I could do the buffing. But I'm looking forward to using that. I just got to figure out where it's going to live. So for now, this little guy works awesome. So I'm just going to level sand on this, and then we'll buff it out with that by hand. That's what I did with the body for the base. I got that all buffed out with this. And yeah. Okay. GMAX says, yeah, you mean brush on, Paul. Don't like router cans, do my finish by hand buff everything. Oh yeah, the brush on, airbrush. Paul says, only all the customer info, invoices, etc. Yikes. Oh no. Paul says, GMAC, nope, I use cut up t-shirts to apply all my finishes. Paul says, yeah, everything poly, water, oil. Yeah, you can. You can apply everything by hand. You really can. I apply oil finishes by hand, the oil wax finishes by hand. I do like to spray clears if I'm spraying, but that's just personal preference. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. GMAX says, I've done True Oil like that, where you but just by hand. Yeah, True Oil works pretty good by hand. Oh yeah, I've done that too. Time Servant says, love some True Oil. Yes, there's ins and outs of True Oil. there's things I like about it and things I don't like about it. But yeah, absolutely. It's really, every finish is like that. Like even this, I think it looks cool, but now I got to wet sand and buff it out if I want it to be like perfect, or as perfect as can be. That's a downside. That's where an oil finish, where you literally just wipe it on, maybe give it a little buff by hand after it dries, and you're done. Paul says, okay, I'll trade you. You deliver though. Old DeWalt 734 with helical heads for the cookies you sent me a pic of the other day. Yes, the Girl Scout cookies. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my daughter is selling Girl Scout cookies, and we have so many Girl Scout cookies. So the way that works here, we have to get all of those first, and then she has to sell them. So we have hundreds and hundreds of boxes of those delicious Girl Scout cookies in our home. Robert says, stupid commercials. Oh, really? You're still getting them. I did find a setting on there that I was able to turn down. So hopefully there's less of those. Sam says, Jeff, it's worrying when you sand a customer's neck because you're rubbing someone else's neck. It is a little concerning. Harry Dude says, True Oil necks are great. Did my Charvel and a friend's Strat and it came out great. Yes, True Oil's got a cool feel. Yeah, definitely is cool. I wish with the True Oil. So I did that Dorian in the True Oil last year, just before the guitar show, which I want to get to here shortly too. And I wanted it in a matte, and I found that I don't know, it was a little bit challenging to get it in a matte, even though, yes, in theory, you just take steel wool and you buff it up. You just scuff that gloss off and you're done. But what I found was that if you weren't careful with it, and those of you that have used True Oil and done True Oil finishes, I would love to hear your feedback on this, because what I found is that if you were not very careful in the direction you were going, you would leave, of course, a scratch pattern, right? And if that scratch pattern was not uniform, when you're looking at the guitar, you could see that. And that I didn't like. So it took me quite a while to get everything buffed to the sheen that I really liked without the weird scratch pattern on there. So I don't know, and I used like the finest steel wool I could possibly use, and I still ended up with that. So that was the only challenge that I found with True Oil. The application's fine, the look of it is fine. It's just if you're trying to get a matte finish and you're trying to basically just scuff the gloss off there. That's the only thing I ran into. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my spot. The comments scrolled, so I'm getting caught back up. GMAX says, I have a walnut neck with True Oil finish. I love it. Oh, yeah. I can imagine walnut with True Oil on there. Yes. GMAX says, if you want clear, True Oil will disappoint, but I like that golden glow on guitars. You are correct. There is a very golden color to it, which I don't mind. I kind of like it, actually. And Sempackin's here. Rick, Sempackin says, good morning, Jeff and everyone. Right on. GMAX says, companies pay YouTube to run their ads. We pay YouTube to block them. YouTube got a good thing going. I mean, yeah. Heritage says, gloss clear poly I sprayed with the airbrush worked really well. Great finish off the gun. Only had to buff with autosol paste and the liquid. No sanding required. See, that's what I'm thinking about this neck, Harry Dude. I can see some tiny dust particles, and I know that's what it is. But when I look at this, a lot of times what I look at is the shine, right? So do I see like bumps and orange peel and all that kind of stuff? I mean, those lines are straight. Everything is straight, flat, and I'm happy with it. So I really feel like I don't even know if I really need to sand this. I think I could probably just start with just a tiny bit rougher pad, because I got 3 layers of pads. I think I could probably start with the second grit, and then just buff it, and I think it might be okay. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about it though. I think it's going to be cool to get into. But that's good to know about the airbrush. I really think I might go pick up one of those from the old Harbor Freight and try it out. And then, like I say, you can always upgrade from there. Rick says, I wonder what it would cost to send some of those cookies up here to me. I don't know, Rick. I'm not against it. And if anybody wants some, let me know. I can post a link if anybody wants to order them. They do ship. You can order online and you can pay for the shipping. I forget what it is, but they will ship, and it'll still count toward my daughter's sales. I mean, the shipping is not super cheap, but it's not ridiculous either. I don't know, just throwing that out there, trying to help her get a sale or two. You can also go on and just donate. If you don't want to even buy them, pay for shipping, you can go on and click the donate button. You can help her reach her goal. Paul says, we'll even buy you breakfast, homemade biscuits and gravy with eggs and bacon. Kind of fatten you up Texas style. I would love to come to Texas, honestly. That's a state that I've never been to. I've never been to Texas. Not even the upper part of Texas. What is that, the Panhandle? Is that the Panhandle? Is that the upper part? Is that what they call it? I don't remember. Or maybe that's Florida. I don't know. But I've never been there. I would love to come down, check it out, see some of the Texas stuff. You know, a lot of Western heritage and stuff like that in Texas. Sam asks, have you ever used Faithful shoulder bullnosed planes? I don't think I have. Don't think I have, Sam. I'm not even sure what that is, to be completely honest with you. Sam says YouTube has an advert fetish. Yeah, I mean, that's their whole business model, literally. Sempakin asks, what's the difference between True Oil and tung oil? I know, I should know, but never seen True Oil here. So Rick, True Oil is essentially developed for, it's a gun stock finish. It's a product made by Birchwood Casey, who does a lot of things in the gunsmithing world, and they lots of products in, you know, cold bluing for the metal parts and stuff like that. Just a bunch of different finishes for the gunsmith area. And True Oil was developed as a gun stock finish. But doesn't mean you have to use it on gun stocks, as you know, thousands and thousands of people use it for many other things, and guitars being one of them. I don't know exactly what all's in it, but I think it's some sort of a, I don't know, oil, poly, some sort of mix. It may not be poly, I'm just kind of throwing that out there. It's a mix of something. It's not just an oil, like it'll build layers. Where oil will just, you know, it basically soaks in. You know, if you get the polymerized, you know, like tung oil stuff, it will eventually build up some layers as each layer polymerizes, but really the oil will soak into the wood. True Oil, even though it's called oil, right, oil's in the name, it's not really a soak in type of finish. I believe it probably soaks in some, but mostly it builds up on the surface. So I don't really know how else to describe it. So if anybody else wants to describe it a little differently, if you maybe know a little bit more about it, feel free to put that in there. But that's how I would describe it. It's almost, True Oil is almost a wipe-on poly kind of thing. Although I don't want to call it a poly, because I don't know if it is. But it's something other than just oil. I don't know if that helps or not, but hopefully it does. GMAX says they're very similar. I don't know what the difference is. Honestly, yes, I don't know the 100% difference. But like I say, oil soaks in. True Oil builds on the outside like a lacquer or a poly or something like that. Rick says, so that neck is True Oil? This neck here? No, this one is not. This is lacquer. This is nitrocellulose lacquer on this one, if this is the one you're talking about. True Oil, I've only done one entire guitar with True Oil, and that was the Dorian that I did last spring before the guitar show, or last spring, whatever it is. Yeah, this one's nitrocellulose lacquer out of a spray can, actually. Deft lacquer. Now, It is Prolux lacquer, formerly known as Deft, which is a nitrocellulose. I'm telling everybody that because I think it's cool. Paul says, I use 4/0 steel wool or the white scratchy pads. Yep. I've also used big micro mesh pads and hand polish the finish, then polish and buff. Yeah, I have some of those white scratchy pads. So right over there, I can't. It's right there under that pile of sandpaper. Time Surfing says very little difference between True Oil and Tung Oil. Hair Dude says my whole airbrush kit fits in a briefcase, 3 airbrushes, little compressor, and a heap of accessories. So that sounds cool. See, that would be handy. I could totally see that, a setup like that. Yes, absolutely. GMAX says, where do you live? I am in the state of Colorado. Yeah, in the Colorado Springs area. Time Surfing says, don't mess with Texas. And Paul says, you'd feel right at home in Texas. At the moment, it's 12 degrees. -2 with wind chill. I mean, it's probably warmer there. I don't know. We might be warmed up to 12 by now. I don't really know. And look who showed up. Dastardly Dave. What's going on? Dave says, sup, Paul? Just a tad late. It's all good. Right on, Dave. Good morning. How are you? Sam says, bullnose plane with a slimmer steel body, probably for getting against or in tight places, I'm assuming. I think I know what you mean, now that you mention that. I do not have one, but I believe I know what you're talking about. And it sounds cool, if that's what it is. So, ooh, dusty. Sorry about that. Bullnose plane has the plane blade right at the front, I believe. So that you can plane, whoop, right up to... Yes, right up to the edge of something. I think I know what you're talking about. No, I have not used one. And yes, I do think it would be cool, and I would like to find one. Maybe an old Stanley or something. Yes, those would be pretty cool. It's almost like if you just took one of these and you just whoop, chopped that entire thing right off the front so that the blade is right at the front of the plane. I'm almost positive that's what you're talking about. Time Servant says, just Googled it. True Oil has polymers, Tung Oil don't. Interesting. Really? Huh. Corey says that's an oil for gun stocks. That's actually linseed oil. And it does soak into the wood, but it also waterproofs the wood at the same time. Corey, thank you. There you go. So I was incorrect, apparently. Paul says True Oil is a mixture of linseed oil, mineral spirits, and modified tung oil. It's mainly made up of elastomeric acid and unsaturated fatty acid. Interesting. Well, see, there you go. So I retract my previous statement as I was slightly incorrect. There's a bunch of other stuff. It is an oil, apparently, but it's got other stuff. Polymers and whatnot's in there, so that it does build up a finish. It does. It doesn't all just soak into the finish. Yeah, so there you have it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. And I stand corrected. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. So I'm trying to look at my preview monitor here, and it looks, everything to me looks okay. Oh, I did know, you probably didn't even notice. I put a little light right here. Huh? See, that makes it better, right? Remember I was saying it's kind of dark over here? Now it's brighter. And I think it looks better. There we go. That's too much. Where'd I have it? Right there. Anyway, let's see. GMAX says, my dad made some beautiful gun stocks when I was a kid. Used True Oil. I guess I remembered that when I made guitars later in life. Yeah, see, there you go. It's funny how we recall things like that from maybe when we were a kid. You know, one of our parents or grandparents or somebody that, you know, we were closer to that did a certain thing, and we just kind of fall back and recall some of those things. Yeah, like I remember my grandpa used to use shellac, just regular shellac, quite a lot. So like for the longest while, I felt like that was, you know, a reasonable wood finish. I didn't know much about some of these other ones. This is quite a while ago as I was kind of getting more into the, you know, doing stuff on my own. You know, but I just knew shellac as a wood finish. And that's what my grandpa used. So, but I also remember some of the projects that we made as a kid we would put shellac on it. I remember that. And then it would be an outside project, but the shellac would just basically fly right off it almost once it got exposed to weather. And that's when I started learning a little more about some different finishes. But yeah. Let's see. Sam says, Faithful Tools, they should be available there or able to ship there. I'll have to check it out, Sam. Thank you for that suggestion. That'd be cool. Harry Dude says, tongue oil stinks for longer. Sorry to get technical. Yes. Harry Dude, I used tongue oil for one project. One. And was it even, I think it was a pure, yes, it was a pure, I used pure tongue oil. And it was a project that it was a little floating shelf deal. It was a video I did several years ago. Floating shelf that I made for my daughter. That smells horrible. I will never, never use tongue oil for a finish again. Just tongue oil. If it's some sort of blend, something like that, maybe. But unless I have some huge change of heart, change of thinking, I will never use tongue oil because it smells horrible. Just my opinion, but yes, it was the worst, and it never went away. Well, I mean, it took months and months for that smell to go away. It was the nastiest smell ever. Sorry to get technical. I'm glad you brought that up. Paul says, tongue oil takes much longer to dry than true oil. Yes. I will not use tongue oil for anything. It was the worst. Thanks for reminding me of that. Sam says, dang, autocorrect faithful. I read that right. It's good, Sam. And Mike's here. Mike Johnson in the house. Says, oops, good morning, good day, and good night. Mike, what's going on? How are you doing this morning? Rick says, wow, you grabbing the plane? Made it look like you have some long arms. And thanks for the tongue oil explanation, folks. Yeah, there's, right now I'm using a GoPro, and it's got a bit of a fisheye on the lens. There's like one more setting that I can bring that in to where you won't get that fisheye. But in playing around with it, it narrowed everything up. And last week anyway, it sounded like all of you were liking the wider perspective, which I kind of like too. Which brings me to another point in that I think I'm gonna try a different camera. See if we can stream with a different camera, because the GoPro's got, in order to get this wider shot, the GoPro has that built-in fisheye thing, right? So in order to not have that and still keep it wide, I'm gonna have to use a different camera, I think. So we're just gonna keep playing around with stuff. Right now I'm still sort of learning this whole setup, figuring everything out. The GoPro's quick and easy, but I think I'm gonna have to try a different one, because like I said, when I bring it in to where you don't get the fisheye, the shot's narrower. Paul says, this info will only cost you a box of cookies to each of us responders. That's cookies. Yeah. There's a lot. Time servants. Paul laughing. Harry Dude says, I'd buy some cookies, but the shipping would be a little much. I wonder if it would even let you, Harry Dude, to be honest. I might have to go on and look and see. I don't know if you can ship internationally. I don't know if it'll let you. I could send them to you if you wanted some, which I would do. I would mail Girl Scout cookies if anybody wanted to buy Girl Scout cookies from my daughter. You could just order them as girl delivered, and then you don't have to pay shipping, and then I just have to make sure they get delivered. Rick says, hey, you fixed the Craftsman logo on the box. You mean that? Or you mean the backwards? That happened last week. Like, no. That time someone says, didn't even need tape this time. Mike says, excellent. Different camera? Alternative solution. Yes, it is a different camera. We have upgraded. I wonder if I can take a picture of it and like post it up there. Yeah, but yes, we've upgraded our setup here. We're streaming from the GoPro, running into the laptop with OBS, because I couldn't deal with the backwards wording anymore, and I could not find a solution. in either the YouTube app or in the camera app on the phone, even though it worked for years and years and years. Changes force us to upgrade. And we even have professional audio now. Yeah, we're just like stepping up the game. I do need to get a longer cable, USB cable, so I'm going to order one of those as soon as we're done. This one just barely reaches, so I think I'm going to replace that so that I have more room to move around. And probably I want to start using the wireless microphone so that I'm not tied to a wire. We're stepping up our game around here. And again, I welcome all of your feedback as to, you know, what would be cool to see. What do you guys want to see in the lives? What would be neat? What's something that, you know, maybe you'd like me to adjust, fix, work on, change? I'm trying to improve the lighting, trying to improve the sound, and just overall make the stream better. What would be more fun? I got to get into playing around with some of the overlays and graphics for in OBS, so I can, you know, have pop-ups and different things. Yeah, so I gotta just trying to improve. Mike says, "Oh no, the next solution away from GoPro." Yes, yes. I'm gonna try my my mirrorless camera, the one that I do shoot most of the video with. Mostly the GoPro is like for B-roll, you know, different shots and stuff. Or if I got to go out and about and do something, it's real easy with the GoPro. Even though I'm not happy with the GoPro. I'm probably going to switch to my mirrorless, and I guess got to come up with a mount for the mirrorless on my little arm here that I built, and not this arm. And yeah, that'll probably be the solution. Or maybe I might go to actually a dedicated like live stream type webcam thing. I might do that. Sam says you can get a video USB device. You can use a security camera as a webcam. I used to have that set up years ago. It worked well. Interesting. Yep, I have. I've got some different USB options to you know, some ways to convert the signal so that I can bring it in. It doesn't necessarily have to be USB. You know, my mirrorless is HDMI. I've got a capture card for that. You can of course do a USB webcam. I'm trying to think, you know, for the live streams, I could plug a USB webcam in here, get a good 4K webcam, plug it right into the laptop. I can have it mounted on this little, on my little mount arm thingy, and I think it would work awesome. Rick says, I finished my dust collection boom arm, installed the 4-inch hose to the collection line. Yeah, so it works great. Right on, Rick. That's awesome. Yeah, Rick built a big, just moved into the new house and is working on his shop, and he's got built this big pivoting arm, basically an arm that's mounted like in the middle, right? So it swings from wall to wall, and it holds the dust hose. It's actually really cool. Kind of like it reminds me of a crane arm, you know, that you might see in some sort of a, I don't know, place that works on heavy stuff. You know, it's mounted to a wall and it just swings around. It's actually a really cool setup, Rick. I really like that. Rick says, I think the YouTube quality is great. Well, thank you. That's awesome. I did play around with some of the different settings, trying to up the quality. You know, for those of you that have used OBS, there's a ton of different settings. I mean, hundreds of settings probably in there. So a lot of them, like your quality and stuff, is dependent on your internet speed. You know, like the faster your internet speed, the more data you can cram into the line to get better quality. And in order to figure out what that limit is, I had to play around with some speeds, and that's what I was doing this morning. I was on here, I don't know, probably 45 minutes before the stream started, making sure I could get everything working. And I wanted to basically start streaming without going live to where all of you can see it. So it was still streaming behind the scenes, and then I can watch the numbers and see if like there's interruptions and stuff, and play around with the settings. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Trying to just get everything set up, get everything fine-tuned, and it's a little bit tricky. Mike says, I picked up an IP Evo camera. Need to check it out for live streaming. Oh yeah, that might be cool. Plug it right here into my router. Paul says, depending on whether you want detail or not, there are some unemployed court sketch artists that can sketch you, upload it to the stream. Might be what? There's some unemployed court. Oh, I know where you're going. Okay, so I wasn't sure. I'm with you, Paul. I'm with you. Harry Dude says, I'm thinking of a swing arm like at some car washes for the hoses. Yes, Harry Dude, that's basically what he did for his dust collection. Yeah, good example. yeah. And then the dust arm comes off the end and it's long enough and he can connect it to all of his stuff. It's really cool. Sam says, perhaps dual stream on YouTube and Twitch to get more viewers on both platforms. That is something, Sam, that I've been thinking about. Do I even have a Twitch account? I don't even know. I think I do, but I've never done a single thing on there. I've been thinking about that. I don't know how that would work. I don't even know if I could do the same stream but send it to two platforms. I don't even know if that would work. There's got to be a way, but I don't know if that takes like twice the bandwidth because you're sending two separate streams. I'm afraid we might lose quality. I don't know. But I've thought about that. I don't know what the advantage would be or the disadvantage, but it is something that I've considered. I welcome feedback on that. I've also thought, like, if there's a way to do, I think you can. I just don't know what software or how to go about it to stream on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch all at the same time. And then there's a way you can bring all of those comments from all three platforms together. That would be kind of cool too. I do sort of miss those of you that have been around for a long time, which is pretty much all of you. You remember when I used to stream every other week? 1 week on Facebook, 1 week on YouTube, and alternate. There were some people that I would get that we would hang out with on Facebook that I would not see over here, and I kind of miss that a little bit. But I'm not going to switch back to the alternating, but I have been thinking about some options like that. Robert says, just had to skip a commercial. Paul says, use Brave. No commercials on YouTube. I get commercials on YouTube and I use Brave. Let's see. Rick says that boom arm doesn't swing as far as it did in the video. Once I ran the hose, it cut the travel to the other wall, but it reaches everywhere I need. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, because the hose sticks off the end so it doesn't go all the way back. But still, it's fine. Sam says, sorry, YouTube slapped 3 unskippable ads. Right on the response. I didn't hear the response. Oh, perhaps to stream to Twitch and that. Basically, I said I've thought about that and I've considered looking into options. I wouldn't be against it. I just don't know. There's a few details that I'd have to work out, I guess. So yeah, that's the brief explanation. So yeah. Anyway, I'm not against it at all. I am all for expanding the live stream stuff and kind of focusing on just improving that and making that a better experience. Not against that. Not against that at all. So yeah, but not changing the project videos or anything like that. But I think it would be cool to be able to expand the live stream. So I welcome ideas from all of you or things that that you might be interested in. I'm totally not against streaming on some of the other platforms as well. I don't know. It's just some things that have been going through my mind. Harry Dude says, you block Origin. Cough. Sorry you got a cold there, Harry Dude. It's unfortunate. Time Surf says, I'm not on Facebook. Community guidelines are too... yeah, some of them are. He says, I got a 7-day ban for telling 2 friends they should hang out. Interesting. Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, I try to stay active on there. I used to stream on there, but I like the YouTube platform for streaming. Paul says, I once got banned for talking about installing cutting blades on my jointer. You just never know. You never know. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Let's see. What's coming up for this next week? Well, of course, last week, I'm going to do a quick wrap up here and probably got to get to work. Oh, there, I got another something I got to get to. I'll tell you that in a second. My plan for the next week, or probably the next couple of weeks, since this has been drying, this neck, I filmed a video, just like kind of a talking head money saving tip video for a glue syringe, because it worked awesome. I used a syringe for these necks, and yeah, I got a much cheaper alternative than what some people would want you to believe. So you'll know what I'm talking about when the video comes out. So I'm working on that right now. I got a couple little B-roll things I got to film. That'll be coming out this weekend. Then the following weekend, I'm planning to get this together, buff this out, get the base back together. And then after that, I've got probably the cables. Remember I talked about the cables I need to build? I got to get to those cables because I really need to get those made. Although some of the stuff that I ordered for it is still on back order, so I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work. I might have to put that off. I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of my plan for the next couple of weeks. Basically, I'm going to get this done, back up and running. I do have the guitar show coming up April the 13th, 2025, in case you're watching this sometime in the future. That's going to be up in the Denver area. I don't have the exact address at the moment, but April 13th, that's a Sunday. I believe it's April 13th. And that'd be awesome. If anybody's going to be in the area or planning to be coming through the area, and you can make it to the Colorado Guitar Show and Luthier's Expo. It's going to be awesome. I'm gonna be there, have a table set up with some of the stuff. It's going to be super cool. Definitely looking forward to that. It's always fun. And then, yeah. There's a couple other guitar shows that are coming up too. I'm not sure if I'm going to make those or not. I got to do a little bit of looking. I just saw yesterday that I got invited to one down in Albuquerque, the High Desert Lutherie show. So I got to figure that out, but maybe. It might be kind of cool. Robert says, yeah, it's a bit surprising that the live stream's not grown much. It'd be nice for you if it would grow a bit. Hope it does. I think it'd be cool. And you know what, Robert? A lot of it really is when I'm choosing to stream. And I fully believe that. And, you know, and that's all on me. It's in the middle of the week, in the middle of the morning. You know, for those of you that are not, I don't know what the word is. It's just a weird time. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of a weird time to get a lot of people to tune in, at least in the U.S., right? It's like in the middle of the workday kind of thing. And if you're not able or in a position to where you can, you know, have a live stream playing, you know, maybe you're at work or whatever, I totally get it, right? It's just a weird time. And I've considered changing the time slightly. I don't want to change it much because I want those of you in other areas, Harry Dude in Australia, Sam, or in the UK, I want others to be able to tune in, but I don't know what time to change it to at the moment. You know, maybe on the weekend would be better for everyone. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's totally why. Harry Dude says, hate Facebook, only use it for Messenger, Marketplace, and business page. Yeah, that's kind of what I do. Time Server says, don't forget to go by and check out RJ's Cave and his Frankenstrap build to benefit autism awareness. Yes. Yep. Harry Dude says, I smell Luthier tax rant. Yes. I'm trying to keep the rant down, but that's what it is. I got a way better, way cheaper solution for one of the Luthier tax items. If you need to squirt a thin bead of glue. Yes. You're spot on. Time Server says, works good for us retired folks. Well, I like the time. It works good for me too. Oh, sorry, I hit the microphone. It works good for me too. Sam says, what precautions do you take to prevent kickback, such as mark off a no stand zone? To prevent kickback, I always use push sticks. Push sticks, and I stand off to the side. I have had slight kickbacks before, and since you're not standing right behind the blade ever, Most of the time, it's just scary and you kind of jump. And if something flies back, it just falls on the floor. I've not had anything super bad, thankfully, right? But I always use push sticks. That's really what I do, and stand away from the blade. I don't mark off anything special. There's never anybody else in here in the shop with me while I'm working, especially if I'm running the table saw. If my daughter's out here for something and I need to cut something on the saw, it's loud enough to where she's like, nope, and she'll be outside. So that's all I do. Harry Dude says, start the live stream earlier to catch those commuting to work in the U.S. I could only start it maybe, I don't even know if I could make an hour earlier, because I got to take the kiddo to school. By the time I get home, it's 8 o'clock here, my time. So then I have from 8 to 9 before I need to start the live. So I'd have to rush home. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of earlier I could go. Paul says, gotta go. Have a great week. See you next week. Laters. Right on, Paul. See you later. Drissy Guitar says, I can watch the stream because I'm retired. Right on, right on. Terry says, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Right on. Yes, hit that thumbs up button. Show the YouTubes that this is the coolest, funnest live stream hangout in all of the land. Sam Packin says, don't make it any earlier. I won't make it. Yeah, it's hard, right? You know, I know there's times, I think I could do it on the weekend, in the evening weekend, and it probably would do pretty good, but it's going to push out those of you that are in other areas, so it's kind of a struggle. I don't know. Maybe I need to do 2 a week. Time Surfing says, kickback almost cost me my right thumb. 30 or so stitches saved it. Yikes. I'm glad they were able to save it. Man, sorry you had to deal with that. Sam says, thank you for the fantastic stream today, Jeff. Oh boy, yes, thank you guys. Thank you. As we wrap up another Wednesday Live here at Home Built Workshop. Yeah, guys, if you got anybody you could share this with, tell your buddies to come join. That'd be awesome. I'd appreciate any of that. Robert says maybe the same time, but on a weekend. Yeah, I thought about that too, like Saturday mornings. Would that make a difference? Saturday morning live stream, or Sunday. What would be better? If those of you had a choice, or if you guys had a choice, before we wrap this up completely, if we went to a Saturday or a Sunday morning at the same time, or maybe there's a time around there, and I'm talking to everybody in like Australia, UK, everybody, what would that be, better or worse? Like a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning? What do you think? Would you prefer that over during the week? Because again, I'm all for it. If it would help grow the live, and I do believe that a weekend would help grow the live. But I want you guys to be able to tune in, and I don't want to do it on a time when, oh, it doesn't work because I have such and such on a Saturday morning or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Robert says everyone stay safe and healthy. Harry Dude says my table saw kickback, a large MDF bored into my stomach, bruised for months. Oh, that's the worst. Oh man, glad it wasn't any worse than that, Harry Dude. Terry says Saturday. Sempackin says, do you have a bunch of setup for each live? Not a bunch. It's the laptop, and I plug the camera into the laptop. It's a little bit of setup, but I kind of like it. I'm used to just setting up, like for band gigs and stuff. You just got setup to do. Terry says Saturday. Sam says Sunday. Mike says during the week is fine by me. Terry says, oh yeah, Saturday. Terry, I'm kind of thinking Saturday as well. But I don't know. Maybe what I'll do is just throw something up there one of these days and just do 2, and just to experiment for a little bit, trying to determine things. I'm going to play with it, I think. Especially now as we're progressing the quality. And by the way, is the quality good? I watched the replay of last week's. The quality wasn't great. So hopefully this is better. Robert says, I'm retired as well, so it's all good, whatever time, as long as I know what time it's changed to. Don't worry, I'm not changing it yet. We will stick with the 9 a.m. on Wednesdays. You guys will be the first ones to know if we make any adjustments. For now, I'm not changing a thing. I'm just going to maybe experiment with some stuff. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to Wednesday Live at Home Built Workshop. I think I said that already, but I'm going to get out of here. I got to get to work. I got a little bit of editing to do. Oh, and then I got to run to town and take care of my taxes. It's tax season here in the U.S., and it's the worst. Thankfully, I got mine dropped off last week, and I already got a call yesterday saying they're ready to go. All you got to do is come down and pay money. Yay! Yay! It's great. Oh boy, not really, but anyway, it's nice to be at the position where it's done. Everything's filed. You don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to go do that. Rick says either Saturday or Sunday. Time Servant says I'll tune in when, as long as it doesn't interfere with the Bulge Shredder, RJ's Cave, or Tray Shreddings. Fair enough. Hair Dude says you'll probably need to do a month of 2 lives per week as a crossover. Yes, yes. Yeah, I just gonna. I like to. You guys know me. I like to try new things. We'll try different stuff, and like Hair Dude said, probably will. Maybe I'll try a Saturday morning, and we'll stick with this one and just see. It's just an idea. I'm brainstorming with you guys. Robert says still have to get my taxes done. Sam says tax is auto in the UK. Man, that would be nice. You don't have to mess with it. Harry Dude says, stay well, folks. Catch you next week. Right on, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. And thank you all for tuning in. Again, hit that thumbs up button on your way out so that, like I said, we can tell everybody where to go for the funnest live stream in the history of the world. Dramatic? Yes. Right on. Thank you guys. Stay safe, stay well, get on your shops, build some cool stuff, enjoy the weather, even if it's cold, even if it's hot. Harry Dude. And you guys have a good one. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week right here. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. I'm out of here. So I got to figure this out again. So now I got to press buttons at the end. I hit the end stream button, and then it brings that up. So then we say stream will stop immediately and will no longer be live. End. Right on. Later, guys.